Hello and welcome to game 2 against W. Morrison, the second match of the Dominion League here. Again, similar to the last kingdom, this kingdom looks very straightforward. You have Border Village, you gain some draw cards with it, you have plus buy in Margrave and Silk Merchant. Populate your deck with gold from Windfall and then go to town. Lighthouse will block the attacks from Margrave and Rabble. That is important, especially the Margrave. And you just go from there. Very cut and dry. This is early Dominion at its finest, vintage Dominion, if you want to call it. So I have the Great 5-2 here, which is nonsense in the sense that it's not reasonable to expect people to play against 5-2 when the 5 is Margrave and the 2 is one of Crossroads and Lighthouse, in a kingdom in which both of them will be impactful. The choice on 2 here is interesting. Crossroads or Lighthouse, sorry. Crossroads could draw you a card and help you find the Margrave more quickly. I opt for the Lighthouse instead. It's a little bit of money that the Crossroads doesn't necessarily have to give you. And I know I will want the Lighthouse long term anyway. I want the money because I want border villages critically. So I go for the Lighthouse early up here. Maybe, again, that is wrong. But I take the Lighthouse and pass it back to W. Morrison. On the 4-3, you do open Silk Merchant and Silver like they did. They get a Lighthouse here. I see both of those cards straight away, and the Lighthouse actually ends up playing out the way I expected it to. Gets me a coin, and that coin allows me to buy a border village. What do we gain with the border village? Could be Silk Merchant, could be Rabble, could be Sculptor. Sculptor looks particularly attractive. That Silk Merchant is on the board. So in the same way Sculptor can gain silver and get villagers from it, it'll do the same thing from Silk Merchant. You gain your Silk Merchant, play it straight out the hand if you like. And this is incredible, but very good for W. Morrison. They needed this to stay alive in the game. From a 3-card hand, they are able to get 6 coin after playing a Silk Merchant. So that is going to be Border Grave, Margrave for them. Border Village, Margrave, what am I saying? 4 is an easy Silk Merchant for myself. I have a choice there to not trigger the shuffle. I could have not played the Border Village, gone Margrave, Sculptor again, Silk Merchant, but greediness, because I wanted to find the Border Village, right? I wanted to find money for the Border Village is what I mean. Again, a Silk Merchant there, draw, trying to find my Lighthouse and also trying to draw through the shuffle. I know that all my good cards are here anyway. I do find the Lighthouse. I do not choose to play it. The Villager is much more valuable than the Lighthouse to me. Border Village, into Rabble, and into Crossroads as well. Terrible hand to see here. And on top of that, I do have to discard to the Margrave. So all my draw, save for the Rabble, is gone in the first 6 cards here. Not great. W. Morrison gets up to another Border Village. I assume that'll be a Sculptor. Yeah, there we go. Margrave attack in, of course. And I don't want to burn the Villager again here. I could save it for a more critical situation. I'll just get my second Lighthouse and hope to have one in play every turn very soon. Alright, 5 for W. Morrison. Just going to be a Rabble. Very easy to build here once you've played lots of Dominion, especially in the early days. 4 is Silk Merchant, 5 is Rabble. You probably just want the one Margrave because multiple Margrave attacks. The first Margrave attack is way stronger than the second one. And hope to hit Border Village as often as possible. 6 is Border Village. So 4 Silk Merchant, 5 Rabble, 6 Border Village. Until you could draw your deck, then the 5 is Windfall. Very cut and dry. Alright, so we pass it back to W. Morrison. Well, at least it's cut and dry for me here. There wasn't really time to go get Apothecary. They do something fancy here. They pick up a Courier. We haven't seen that also from allies. Courier will discard the top card of the deck, and then you could play any action from the discard. So they took it when their discard was populated with many cards. So it found a Border Village, the card next to it. Then they were able to chain a couple more actions after that to get them to a Border Village and Rabble combination. Not the greatest of hands here for me, but I do see my Margrave land the attack, and I see enough money for a border village. That is the important part of the turn. Once you could keep building by buying border villages, that is really all you want to do here. wmorrison gained a Silk Merchant on their last turn, and I am able to draw quite a bit of cards here. We burned some villagers in order to be able to do so. Not quite to the end of the deck. Going to gain a Silk Merchant, not play it. Again, the villager is very, very important. There's no thinning in the deck. It's very likely, not very likely, but it's not uncommon to hear you have a hand of no villages and all draw cards. So you want those villagers in those situations, not in a situation where I already have quite a bit of money and drew through most of my deck. So this is enough for another border village, and rabble could be another rabble on top of that, but you see how many silk merchants I have. I don't need more draw. I need more villages. That's what I need. 6 is border village and rabble, presumably. Nope, they take our silk merchant instead there. I would have thought the rabble was a choice because the sculptor can gain the silk merchant. And here's where we draw through everything we get to the end of the deck with actions to spare even. Look at that. Tremendous. This is why I want the rabbles for draw more than the silk merchant. It just draws more cards. I do want some silk merchants for the extra buy. 4 buys is probably a reasonable place to be. Gain a silver with the sculptor. What else am I gaining? I guess I could gain the silk merchant, huh? I wanted the money though, so this is easy windfall and border village. I could keep the coffers for something else here. I do have to be wary of piles a little bit. There's 1 border village, 1 silk merchant, and 4 rabbles left, and some buys floating around. Maybe the estate pile, the lighthouse pile is in danger. Maybe. I don't really think so, but just have to keep your eyes open. You could stall a turn and then your opponent has 2 turns to pile out instead of 1. Chain in some couriers. They get the last border village and they get a rabble, and then I think, wait, did you just leave a pile out for me? Yeah, it looks like they did, especially with this draw. Able to see everything in the deck, and that windfall from last turn does give me enough money to pile out. So the sculptor will pick up the silk merchant. Then I have enough money to pick up triple rabble and province even, but we save the coffers, to celebrate with them later. So again, another quick and dry one here for you. Game 2 goes to me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.